Noninkables. Hello, welcome to Noninkables. We are on episode number 20, and set 5 set champs are done. I did not get a mat. Spoiler alert. I did not get a mat, but I did get another card. So the set champs that we played in this weekend was at Victory Point Cafe, and it was best of 2, as it always is, cut to top 8. Luckily, we had enough people to go to top 8. I feel like there were a lot of set champs this set that were only cut to top 4. And they were all ones where like they looked like they were going to be big, and then like people dropped at the very end. So I ended up being 4th over. I took green steel again because, well, I was going to take items, and then I played that a couple times. Let me see how many times I played it on Lorcana. I played it a little bit on Lorcana and then just lost so badly, constantly, like repeatedly, that I was just like, okay, I think I need to go back to, oh, I guess I didn't. Let me see. Let me okay, I didn't play it that much. I played items like 1. I was like, okay, I'll give it a good 5 best of 3. So I played 5 best of 3s, and I lost all of them except for 1, which was a mirror, but I don't really remember. I think it was against like DKP or something, maybe. And then, but prior to that, I was playing green steel, and I also lost a ton. I'm looking at my Lorcana now, and it's literally like maybe 30 matches, maybe more than like 30. The last 30 matches before I went to VPC were pretty much all losses, except for there was one where my opponent dropped. And then I think there were like maybe 2 others where I won. And then there was one where I literally played the first card, and then they just dropped after that. So I was not feeling great, and I won. The last match I played on Lorcana before I went to set champs was against Purple Steel. I won, and I was like, okay, I'm going to stop now while I'm ahead, and then I'm just going to quit, and we'll play in real life. And I feel like I do always play better in real life. I feel like when I play in real life, I'm paying more attention, and I'm thinking a little bit harder about what my opponent has and what they could play and what I have and what cards I need to get, that kind of stuff in terms of sequencing and all that. And on Lorcana, I just click, and then do dumb things. But now that set champs is over, on to set 8, right? Oh, but before we move on too quickly, look at our little set champs haul from this time. I mean, it does help to have 2 people playing, and we're actually missing 2 more promo. Oh, I can't get into focus. 2 more pro. So these are all enchanted ones, and these are all our participation ones. And we are missing 2 of these from Games of Berkeley. I think they're having issues with their distributor, so they haven't gotten it yet. So we did get the cards at least, but no mat. One of our locals, Kenny, he has 4 mats or something, 3 or 4 mats or something crazy like that, because he's really good. And I feel like I've lost to him. I think our record right now is pretty even in terms of when we've won, when we've lost. But I feel like all the games I played against Kenny where I've won, one time was because I played hyper aggro and he was playing red purple. And then the other time I was playing blue steel deck at the beginning of the set, and he was playing blue steel with Oswald, and I think his Oswald trigger missed like 8 times or something. So I definitely think he's a better player than me, for sure, but super nice and like very helpful. And he's now sponsored by Rich, one of our other locals. Their team is called Glitched, I think. But yeah, I think the team currently is only, we were asking Rich about it. I think the team is only just him and Rich, but I feel like he's the Tyler of that team. So now that we've moved on to set 8, it is the period of time where the new cards aren't out yet, but you know what they are. So then, of course, I printed a bunch of proxies, and then Brian and I made a bunch of decks. I think the official term is called net decking in TCGs. I call it steal other people's decks online. And then I shouldn't say we've been practicing, but we've been practicing. We played a couple games. We've been trying out green steel, like discard. We've been trying out amber steel, because every set I try out amber steel. And so far, I mean, I haven't played that many games, but so far it hasn't been as weird as when I normally play amber steel, which is I either get all songs or all singers. It's actually been an okay flow. And then today I was practicing a little bit on ink table. I played as amber steel on ink table against green steel discard, and I felt like I won very easily. And then I reversed it, and I played green steel against amber steel, And I feel like I won as green steel easily. So I was like, oh no, that just means the ink table AI is not very good at piloting either of these decks. So I think they either have to practice more with Brian, or maybe we'll do some team practices and then on Lorcanito. But yeah, I feel like it's in that phase. And in terms of events this week, we're planning to go to a sealed on Friday at VPC. Speaking of that, I need to make sure I bought tickets for that. I think I did. And then our local store DVY hasn't announced anything, and I think they've been having trouble with whoever their distributor is in terms of actually getting cards. Because Davey would definitely like run a tournament if he knew he had stuff, and he just wants to make sure he has stuff before he sets anything up. And so I feel like most places haven't really announced anything for this set. So King Kong, which is local to us, announced something for Sunday. Unfortunately, I can't go because it kind of, I think I'm working that night, and so I can't go because of work stuff. I won't be able to stay. And I think that's kind of it in terms of places. My goal today was actually to look at some of our other stores, like Phantom Edge we haven't been to in a while because they kind of stopped running like League. Let's see. Ooh, they do have a pre-release event, and it is on Sunday, but it's a little bit earlier, so maybe I can go to that. Yeah, so I feel like nobody has really announced. I usually get cards from DVY, but they haven't said anything about cards yet, unless they've updated their Discord and I'm not keeping up, which is also totally possible. And so I'm feeling a little worried about getting cards. I did pre-order some online, but those obviously don't ship until June 6th. But I do like that the timing is a little bit closer, so you don't have to wait as long. But I'm a little bit worried about getting cards. But I'm sure it'll be fine. And then the next big tournament, well, we just signed up for a tournament on June 15th at Gamelandia. So it is one of the qualifier PPG events. So it's like the only one in this area. Brian was asking me about it today. He was like, oh, did they announce anything? And I was like, I don't know. Let me check. And then I was like, oh, they did. And then leads you go to like the PPG Discord. It leads you to a map. And then it has like all the qualifiers for their Pro Play Summit thing. And the only one in our area is at Gamelandia, which is in Palo Alto, which is like South Bay. So it is like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours away from us. But I feel like in Bay Area time, that's not that far. So I do have to like do a little switcheroo at work, but then hopefully I can go to that. It is capped at 32 people. And when I bought tickets this morning, there were only 20 left after. So 22 when I went to buy our 2 tickets. So if you guys want to go to that, I would get on it. I'll put a link in the description down below. It is on Father's Day. So that part's a little like, but I mean, I guess lucky for me and Brian, we both play. So we're both like, yeah, that's fine. We can celebrate Father's Day another day. And then the next big one would be the Pro Play Summit in July in Texas, over July 4th weekend that we signed up for. Bought ticket, got a hotel, still have to find flights. The flights are kind of expensive, and like because of the time change, kind of like weird times. Either you leave like super early in the morning and get there in the middle of the day, or you leave like in the afternoon and you get there at like midnight, or you can take a red eye. And so I'm trying to figure out the timing for that. But it is Tuesday, which is like cheapest flight day. So probably I'll buy tickets today. And then in terms of the tournament on that we played, the set champs that we played this past weekend, VPC, I have notes. I'm going to find them. Hold on. Okay. I took Green Steel, Chief Bogo deck. The first person I played was Matthew, who listens to this podcast. Hi, Matthew. He played Amber Steel, and I feel like I was at a little bit of a disadvantage because he listens to this podcast. So he was like, I know you're going to play either Fogo or items. And I was like, ooh, maybe I should not talk about that, but whatever. I did end up winning. I was on the play first and on the draw second. And I did end up winning, although the second game was a little scary because I was at 3 Lord and he was at 17. And I basically had to like control until I could win. The second round I played against Wiley, and he was playing an Amber Red deck that he had borrowed from Tegan like that day. And there was a little bit of a issue. So like we went to go cut each other's decks, and my deck was like much higher than his deck. And he was like, oh, why is your deck so much thicker? And I was like, oh, mine's double sleeved, whatever. And he was like, okay, let me just count this deck since it's like not my deck, just to make sure there's 60 cards. And then he counted them and there was only 59 cards. And then we like counted it like 4 times. There was only 59 cards. And then it was, I said Amber Red. It was not. It was Amber. It had to be Amber Steel because Brian gave him a bolt from like his the pack that you get for participation. And so he added that bolt to his deck. And it was like I'm trying to remember, it was like aggro-y deck. It had like Tinkerbell, the yellow one, and Rapunzel, and You Have Forgotten Me, I think was in that deck. I don't really remember, but it was like a lot of characters, no removal. So I was like, oh, I'll just go wide. Okay. And so the first one I was on the play, and he got to 12 lore. I was at 7, and then I won. The second one, he got to 9, and then I got 2 lore, and then I controlled and won. And I was like, oh, I'm on a roll. I'm winning. Woohoo. And then round 3, I played Kurt, who was playing red, blue? What's he playing? No, Kurt was playing red, purple. Kurt was playing red, purple, evasives, I think. The first game, I was so close. I was at 16. He was at 18. And then I'm trying to remember if he I think I didn't find removal to get rid of his last character that could quest. So there was no, it wasn't even like a top deck goat situation. It was just because I don't think that deck was running any mounts or goats. And so it was literally just that I couldn't get rid of his stuff. And I was going to win the next turn. And then I was on the draw. The second game I was on the play, and I also lost. That one, I was at 8, he was at 13, and then he played Pirate's Life, and then the Shark Pirate's Life kind of got out of control, and he got to 18. Round 4, I played Walter, who was on red-blue items, and the first game I was on the play, and I was doing pretty good. I was at 15, he was at 12, and then I think I got to 19 lore, and he had Tomato on the board, and he needed to be able to play 2 items, and I think he had a dime. I think he had a dime that he could play, and then he needed to draw 2 more items. And so he had to kind of go, I think he played an Oswald, and then I think got a popsicle from that. And then the popsicle led to another item. And so he won, got to 20. Very squeakly there. And then in the second game, I only got to 9 lore, and he was at 3. And then it looks like I didn't get any more lore after that. So I think I got demolished. And so I went into round 5 with 2 wins, 2 losses. So I had to win round 5. Round 5, I paired into River, who I think hasn't played that much Lorcana this set. He's been playing a lot of Pokemon. He's one of the kids. He's the only kid I play against usually. I guess there were some at games at Berkeley, but he's the one that I see more routinely. And he was playing Amber. Did I write it down? No. Amber, Emerald, aggressive. And the first game, I was on the draw, and we were kind of neck and neck. It was 14 and 13, and then I was able to just get rid of all of his stuff and then quest my own stuff. The second game, I was on the play, and no kidding, I had a turn 1 Diablo and looked at his hand and almost pooped my pants because he had in his hand 2 Curse Merfolks and 2 Daisies, I think a Nala and something else. So it was a very aggressive opening. So it was a little terrifying. And I remember the tables ahead of us had ID'd, so they were all kind of watching. And when he showed his hand, everyone was like, oh, and I was like, I'm scared, guys, I'm scared. But luckily, I think in both games, I was able to draw my one Helga Sinclair, and she was MVP for getting rid of all of the things. Because most of the stuff a lot of the stuff in the deck doesn't attack for a lot, early on, Diablo, 1-drop, Ursula. They only do 1 damage, but then that Helga quest, and she does 3. And so I feel that was fortuitous for me that both games I drew the Helga. And then we went to quarterfinals. In quarterfinals, I played Chris, who was playing Amber, Emerald. And Chris, I'd played them. So it was almost like a repeat. I'd played them in quarterfinals last set, and I was on green steel, and they were on green steel. And then last set, they drew the nuts, both games, I think. And I got demolished. And then this time I drew the nuts. So I think first game I played a 1-drop Diablo, and then I played Ursula, shifted my Diablo. No, I played a morph, shifted my Diablo, and then shifted my morph into a beast or something. And their hand was very bad. And so they just conceded almost. I only got to 1 lore before they conceded because I just had the nuts. And then game 2, I was able to do it again. So 1-drop Diablo, morph, I think Ursula 3, and then I shifted the morph into something. And so that game I also won without them getting any lore. So it was the same as last set, but reversed. And then in top 4, I played against How am I blanking now? Oh, top 4, I played against Adrian. Adrian is, his melee name is Yurta, and he's now part of like Ed's team. And he ended up winning the whole thing. So I lost to the winner. So I guess not as bad. Although I have played Adrian and lost to him, I feel like, before. I played against him, I think I want to say like at Games of Berkeley last set for set champs. And he was playing red, purple, kind of evasives, but with like Hogsworth and Shark. And the first game I would have won except for freaking Pirate's Life. And then the second game was also, both games were like super, super close. We were like right, like neck and neck with the lore. And I mean, they were good games, I feel like. And then the first game was weird because at one point we were both top decking, which is weird because both of our decks have many ways to draw cards, but neither of us saw those things. And so we were both top decking. So I ended up losing in the top 4. And then Brian and I went and got all you can eat hot pot after because it's across the street. Azure hot pot. And then after that, we were like, okay, set 8, moving on. So I did end up recording a video where I literally read all the cards from set 8, but then like I think the file was so big that, well, one, while I was recording it, like my computer kind of died. And so then the audio got messed up and I don't know how to fix it. The audio and the video, because I'm trying to make it so that like you can see my face as a little screen in the corner and then like the background is like the card, right? And then the audio, well, it's not even the audio, it's the video that's messed up. So I can't get it to show both my face and also the cards behind. And like normally it does it on its own, but like because I think I stopped it in the middle, it like freaked out and now like it won't do it. And I honestly don't care enough to fix it. Sorry guys. You have to read the cards on your own. You won't get to hear my beautiful voice and I'm narrating that. So now we've moved on to just looking at set 8. So the decks that we built, basically I picked them. I picked a green steel discard. I picked a amber steel Sol. What else did I make? I made a red green one. I think it's actions. What else did I make? Oh, I made a green purple discard and kiwi birds. And I feel like I picked one more. I think, I did a green steel discard and a green steel Chief Bogo deck with the new Mickey. So just decks that I think people may play to test against. And yeah, what else? Oh, an update on my Legos. So my castle, I got to this far and then I realized that I was missing a piece. So I'm missing like a little half circle. So I emailed them and they're sending me, or I did a thing on their website and they're sending me the replacement piece. So luckily that was on pause. I actually got to like practice because I couldn't do my Legos. And yeah, I'm going to be way more serious this set because we're flying somewhere to play in a big tournament. And so I don't want that to be a waste of money because I didn't practice like this. I feel like I didn't really practice very much. I'll practice way more for next set. I'm going to go back to my old ways where I like take notes and try to like summarize what I've learned about playing against different decks. Because I feel like a lot of people when they practice, well, one, especially when I started, when I practiced, it was kind of like, I feel like meaningless practice. I didn't learn anything. I was just playing. And then the other thing is I feel like a lot of people's memories are better than mine. And so like they will perseverate over misplays and remember misplays. And for me, like this whole set champs, the only misplay I remember, there was one turn against Adrian where I thought about shifting my Pete into a big Pete. I had a bunch of stuff on the board, but I was like, oh, what if he plays Be Prepared and then wipes my whole board? What I did not anticipate was if I didn't shift Pete, then he could sing Friends and then play Be Prepared, which I feel like was worse because it gave him cards. So that's like the one misplay I remember, but I feel like other people remember much better and in more detail. So for me, I have to write things down when I learn them. And so hence why I'm trying to keep track in a notebook again, instead of just on like the regular sheets. I can show you. When I used to take notes, I would write like what color I played. Oh, you can't even see. Okay. Focus. I would write like what color I played, what color they played, what else is on here. If I went first or second, what their MMR was, and then like things that I learned or things that I messed up or things I have to worry about. And I used to take like so many notes. So I'm going to start doing that again in preparation and we'll see. And then of course, because it is a new set, it is another opportunity for me to try to play Amber Steel and see if the deck doesn't hate me this time. So who knows, maybe I'll be an Amber Steel player. If not, maybe green steel. And then, of course, I am always itching to play red steel because I want to play Mushu. The other deck I built, I forgot. The other deck I built was the Turanogs because I feel like that's going to be a big deck. And even if I don't play it, I need to learn how to play against it. And so I think this set will probably be hopefully doing more play testing in person and online with our team. Although, unfortunately, Gary's not able to go because he's going to be out of the country. So it's just going to be me, Tyler, and Brian in Texas. But I feel like this is like the one big event that we can actually, that like I feel motivated to practice for, because I feel like Lorcana for a while now has been a little bit like after LCQ it was like, what are we practicing for? It's just a chance, like whatever. Especially in this set, I was so whatever about it because I was like, I'm not going to get a mat. And I don't know if that was a self-fulfilling prophecy. I think it was also affected by the fact that I didn't play the right Helga for one of the set champs. And so finally have something to kind of work towards. And yeah, those are the plans. Those are plans. I still need to, I think I have a little bit more. I don't really have that much more time off. I would say I have more time off this week, but I don't. It was basically today and tomorrow. So it's going to work more on the mat and the friendship bracelets. What would Botsu do, friendship bracelets? But I feel like I've been saying that for a few weeks now. So yeah, I need to work on that. Oh, shout out to John the Judge. Sorry, that's your name now. But he commented on my last podcast and explained very clearly what the ruling is for my whole Chief Bogo thingy with Return of Hercules and Prince Philip. And I feel like every time he explains these, you're like, yeah, of course it's that. It makes so much sense when you explain it. Why couldn't I figure this out on my own? Maybe I just need to spend more time with the rules. But yeah, it was good. Thank you, John, for providing that very clear explanation. So if you were wondering about the whole what happens if you both play Prince Philips at the same time and one has a BOGO on board but it's damaged and the other one doesn't have a BOGO, what happens? Check out the comments of my last video and you'll see a very good explanation from John. Yeah, I feel like the set, I guess summary of the set, Sealed was super fun this set. I think the cards were really fun to play with in Sealed. Hopefully Reign of Jafar will be the same. Set Champs ended up being, I mean, I feel like I was so, I don't know, uninvested going in and then played the wrong Helga. And then once I played the right Helga, I was like, oh, this deck is actually really fun. And it's not like a regular, archetype that has been like in the meta for a long time. And I feel like with Reign of Jafar, I'm now rejuvenated to practice more again. However, still worried about getting cards. I mean, I feel like we'll get them and we'll definitely get them by the time we need them for Texas. But I feel like there's less hype. I feel like last set, going into the beginning of last set was like, oh, why are all these sealed so expensive? And then going into set, I'm just like, where are all the seal? I want to play. Where are all the pre-order things? But maybe if I check Discord today, they'll be there. Yeah, if you message me on Discord and I don't respond, it's because I have all notifications turned off. Because sometimes the Discords that I'm part of get very chatty. And sometimes I just want to ignore it. Oh, the other thing. They may be running again the Margolis Lab Hybrid Tournament that I played in, I guess it was the beginning of this set. That was like every week and it was like by location in the Bay Area and then like the finals. I don't actually know what ended up happening. Let me look. I did not keep up after I got eliminated and didn't make top 16. But I should probably follow up on that. I feel like someone told me also like who won and I was like, oh, cool. And then I totally forgot about it. Okay, let's look. Gold East Bay. Okay, that's just our team. And then let's see. And I'm sure they posted it in Discord and I didn't pay attention. Okay, congrats to all the winners, blah, 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 blah. Okay, the winner. So the first place was Star Wars Dude. He won a Japanese Maui Enchanted, a trophy, and a special hand-painted card. Second place was Judy, aka Pooh, who won a Japanese Mickey Sorcerer Enchanted. Oh, Judy also, her and Edmund went to Japan and Judy won a set champs there, like a Stitch set champs, which is pretty cool. Third place was Edmund. He won a Super Goof Enchanted. Fourth place was Lion Goes Brar, also won a Super Goof Enchanted. Fifth place was Indigo Yerxa. I'm going to guess this is Yerxa that I play against. It's just Indigo on Melee for some reason, or not Melee, on Discord. He won a Lorcana Deckbox Artistic Edition. Sixth place was Chris Chang, who won the same thing. Seventh place was G-Dogs, who won a Lorcana Token Dice Box Artistic Edition. And 8th place was Darkness QT Lorcana Token Dice Box Artistic Edition. So congrats to them. Didn't follow at all. Sorry, guys. And I think they had I feel like that tournament had top 16 bracket pool that I definitely did not pay attention to. I feel like next time I'm just going to always bet on Judy, because Judy always is like, I don't know what to play. And then she just wins. We were talking to her last year and she was like, oh, I don't know what I want to play for Toronto because Bucky's getting banned. And then she went and placed top 16. And then she'll go to set champs and be like, oh, I don't know what I should play for set champs, and then just win the whole thing. So next time I'm just gonna bet on Judy. Always bet on the girls. So yeah. And then, this set, I did get added to the Love to Lore Discord, which my goal is to pay more attention to what is happening on that Discord, because I feel like I joined and then I never opened it. I opened it once to join, and then I haven't kept up. And my goal is to be more up to date on Discord stuff. I'm still not going to turn on notifications, because the reason why I turn them off is because they got very annoying. Because sometimes I feel like sometimes the guys talk a lot and they talk about things that aren't even Lorcana, and then it gets a little drama-y, and then I'm just I'm out. So my goal is to be more aware of what's happening on Discord and not only look at stuff when Brian's like, oh, you should look at Discord. So yeah, that's it for me. I hope everyone had a great set 7, set champs. Kenny, if you want to sell me one of your mats, I'll buy one of them. And I think that's it. Let me know what you guys are testing for set 8. And if someone wants to write a guide for Amber Steel, and then I'll buy it, and then maybe I can learn to play Amber Steel. Because one day I'm just maybe this time I'm a singer. I feel like that's a Sabrina Carpenter song. But anyways, so yeah, let me know what you guys are playing, and good luck. All right. As always, keep shuffling. Hopefully you don't end up with a whole handful of non-inkables like me. All right. Bye.